Here's what I want you to know is today is one of my favorite days as well, because we get a chance to spend a little bit more time than normal. Throughout the week, we do presentations. When we're done, and you get together with the person that introduced you, and it's fantastic. I'm going to keep today short because I have to also catch a flight, but we don't need to go into too much details because it's a simple business. And I just want to teach you a couple of items. And normally I go to something that I can write, but I'm going to keep this really, really simple today. When we're looking at this business, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is if you're new, you cannot finish a race that you haven't started. It's just something you have to remember. And so the first step is always to get started. And I showed you the timing, and people go, well, what does that mean? Well, you're going to get together with the person that introduced you, and they're going to fill out an application online. So they're going to go to their link, which is the same thing you will get. So our link is viagodirect.com, and then there will be a forward slash, and then you will have your name and whatever your name you choose it to be. You can use your name, you could do a business name, you could do I travel for fun. Like you could do whatever you want. Travel and make money. Like people have fun names, and then that's what they use to sign up new members and new business partners. And this whole system is replicated the minute you get your application done today. So you go in, the person that introduced you will help you get set up. Now, there are people that are A's that are ready to go. There are other people that need to see it again, and that's okay. Like I always ask people, are you ready to get started or do you need to see it again? And if they need to see it again, I understand. And I want all of you to understand that just because someone needs to see it again, it's not a bad thing. Everybody processes information differently. Sometimes it's the second presentation, which sometimes I send a video for the second presentation. I love the lives for the first presentation because I would bring my guest on here, be there with them, have my video camera on. If I had a guest on here, I would have my video camera on, and I would be as excited as Brandon. I would be as excited as Rika. I would smile like Matt is right now. And I'm going to tell you something is I'm a big note taker, right? And I got to tell you that I love seeing my buddy Willie on here. And some of you don't know, but what you don't realize is Willie is one of the most grateful, phenomenal team members. And he has to take notes with a pen in his mouth, and he takes notes that way because of his physical abilities. And he's at a lot of the, if not every training. First of all, he's at every training. Second of all, he's at almost every presentation. And he has someone that helps him get there, helps him get back. He pays attention more than most people I've ever met. And it's because he's building a business. And Willie, I'm just saying, I'm so proud of you, my brother, and everything that you're doing to build this business. And I want you to know that all of us need to take more notes. We do, we really do. And for those of y'all that are going to Atlanta, which I hope is everybody, I gotta share something with all of you. This was sent to me by one of my best friends. And so I got to share it with all of you because everyone knows me in this community as the guy that preaches upon preaches on note taking. And everybody goes, why does Mazafar harp on us about taking notes? Like, why does he harp on us? Literally, that's like my thing where they go, they go, Mazafar, I'm on my phone. Like I'm taking notes on my phone. Why do I need a notepad and pen? Why do I need to write something down? And my friend shared this with me because I've always been that guy that said that it's different for your brain to process information when you actually write it down. Now, I've learned a lot of this through school, but this was sent to me by my friend Harry. And I want you to hear this. And Sherry, you've taught taking notes since I met you, but I don't know if you've ever heard this. So check this out. Modern screens are making everyone dumber, destroying our ancient neural network. This is a whole article. When scientists scan the brains of people writing by hand, They discovered something that explains why the most successful people still refuse to abandon pen and paper, the most successful people. In January 2024, Norwegian researchers attached 256 electrodes to students' brains as they wrote and typed. This is what they found. Handwriting activated extensive theta and alpha brainwave patterns, critical for memory and learning. Typing activated almost nothing. But that's not even the worst part of it. They identified 16 distinct neural connections that only light up during handwriting. These pathways don't exist well when typing. The manual formation of each letter creates a unique dance in your brain that technology can't replicate. What does this mean for your untapped potential? Your brain treats handwriting like movement, not just communication. Each curve and line you draw physically reshapes your neural architecture. It talks about successful people that journal. It says, have you ever noticed that how goals written by hand materialize more than typed ones? It's not coincidence. The 16 neural pathways activated by handwriting could potentially create a feedback loop between intention and reality. Wow. I'm just letting you know, I'm not going to read everything that's in here, but it talks about the grimoires from the hieroglyphics and the grimoires to Japanese kanji, and it talks about how the hand becomes a conduit for something beyond conscious thought. Anyways, the point is being in Atlanta and taking notes, being on these trainings and taking notes. That's why I respect Willie. He's getting the same development of his brain, but he has to take notes with a pen in his mouth. And there are people that have the ability to use both hands and they don't do it. That's why I'm so proud of you, Willie, for what you're doing, my friend. And you're an inspiration to all of us. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, number one, get started. Number two, come to training. Like, come to training. Specialized knowledge cannot be replaced. It's not going to be the same on a video. It's not going to be the same on something that you listen to or a podcast. Nothing is going to replace this live event in Atlanta that is happening. And I'm telling you, if you're not getting married or buried, you need to be in Atlanta. I'm just letting you know that's been my, sometimes it's a sacrifice. For some people, it's a financial sacrifice. For some people, they're like, Muzaffar, it's going to be extremely difficult. Find every possible way. Like, people tell me all the time, Muzaffar, coming up with $500 to get started, I have to wait till my next paycheck. And I go, why? Successful people have been taught to do principles that unsuccessful people have not been taught. Use other people's ideas. Good news for you, Viago is someone else's idea. Use other people's effort. Good news for you, we're building a team, which is someone else's effort. Use other people's money. That one was a big shocker to me because my dad told me my whole life, never borrow money, never go in debt, never borrow money, never go in debt. And then when I lost my scholarship from getting injured to finish my school, I had to borrow money and I had to go in debt. My dad co-signed for me to do exactly what he told me not to do. But then I learned from successful people that there's smart debt and bad debt. Bad debt is taking a credit card and buying things that will never produce you an income. And you're paying interest on those items. Good debt is when you are someone that has taken out a loan to start a business. And then you take the money from what you earn in that business and pay back the loan, and nothing comes out of your pocket. Now, for me, I look at this as a simple one. Like $500, I used a credit card. Some of you are going, I don't have room on a credit card. Get a new one. Like I'm not telling you you have to. I'm just giving suggestions right now. But like, I have people that went on and went to Chime, which is a big company, CHIME, and they got $500 in 2 minutes. I have a friend of mine that got $1,200 literally in 2 minutes, and they had the actual card online that they could use immediately. They didn't have to wait for it to come, and they're like, Muzaffar, I could sign up right now because it works. And there's a lot of companies like Chime. I'm not telling you that's the one that you have to get. I'm just telling you, like, I have nothing connected with Chime. Actually, I would like to. You know how cool it would be if Chime was part of our membership? Then anyone that became part of Club Viago, you got $500 from Chime just for being a member. How awesome would that be? Then you're using Chime's money to start Viago, and you get your first 6, and you take that money, pay back Chime. Nothing came out of your pocket. Talk about a perfect win-win. That might be a meeting I have to set up. Anyways, the point is it's not set up yet, just so you know. But yes, Mary, it is brilliant, just so everyone understands. We're having fun. Anyways, the point is this, is get started, get to training. Now that you got started, let's help you create a story, right? And creating a story is we need to help you get your 6. I'm going to keep this so simple today. Getting your 6 is your number one focus, getting your 6. However, let's start with just 2. Let's start with 2. Once we get 2, we'll go for another 2, and then we'll go for another 2. So let's start with 2. How do we get 2? Well, maybe you'll introduce 2 people and both will say yes. Maybe you'll introduce 2 people and both will say no. I don't know. Everybody's life is different. But you can't introduce anybody if you don't make a list. You can't. Whether you make a mental list, my suggestion is write a list. I just told you why you need to write things down. Believe what I'm teaching you, right? So what I'll tell you is make a list. Don't prejudge anybody. Please don't prejudge anybody. Just introduce them. I'm so grateful I didn't prejudge Sherry and go, well, she's a multimillionaire. Oh my God, Rika, you wouldn't be here. If I didn't listen to my wife was like, call her now. I mean, I think about this, right? Like, I'm just looking at this Zoom right here. You know how many of you on this Zoom would not be here if one person did not say yes? Now, there's it's called the butterfly effect. But there's so many of you that are here because of Rika, but Rika wouldn't have been here without Sherry. Some of you are here because of Soda. Soda was doing the production, and I was showing Soda the beautiful part of our membership and business. And Soda was like, and by the way, I'm not making fun of him. That's actually like, well, his name is Soda Quist, but he calls himself Soda, so I'm gonna call him Soda, right? So the point is that Soda was doing our production. He still does. He'll be doing the production in Atlanta. And I would like, Soda saw everything. And he was like, wow, what you guys are doing. And it was always like, what you guys are doing is great. This is great. Sherry's like, I'm all in. Soda's like, me too. I'm like, man, really, dude? Like, really, Soda? Like, he was like, Muzaffar, I got the membership, but like, that's Sherry. I'm going to do the business with her. Listen, Cheryl wouldn't be here. Jocelyn wouldn't be here. Like Susie wouldn't be here. Like there's so many. Stevie B wouldn't. Like there's so many of you. If I wouldn't have made, and I'm not here trying to take credit for your success or for you being here. The only thing I'm gonna take credit for is listening to my wife that said, "Call her now." If fear would have overcome my ability to push a couple buttons on my phone to call Sherry Sharman, so many of you would not have this opportunity. You would not be here. And I want you to understand, do you know how many people are waiting for this opportunity? But what's needed is for you to call the person that you're hesitating on calling. Do you know how long I was standing around my house thinking about what I'm going to say to Sherry? Like, what am I going to say to her? What do you say to a multimillionaire? Like, what do you say? Like, what do you say to someone that's your mentor, that's your second? Like, I was saying all this stuff in my head. I was having, if I say this, Sherry says this, and I say this. What if she's like, "Are you trying to recruit me, Muzaffar?" What am I going to say? Well, yes, but no, but yeah. And what if she's like, "Muzaffar, I'm the one that taught you. Seriously, this is what." Like, I was making up conversations that she never did, and I started acting as if I was her. And my wife looked at me like, what are you doing? And I was talking to myself. I find myself a lot talking to myself. All of you do talk to yourself. And if you're sitting there going, do I? Yes, you're talking to yourself right now. Anyways, the point is that I'm so grateful that I finally did it. And then you might be thinking, Muzaffar, what did you say to her? Everything wrong. I did. And you can ask her. I called her and I vomited. Like not physically, but I was like, Sherry, hi, listen. And I was like everything that I teach not to do. And she was so kind and graceful. She listened to everything I said. And when I was done, she asked a couple questions. And I'm just telling you right now that I'm so glad I made the call. Now, look, is your Sherry that's out there, is it going to go as wonderful as mine? I have no idea. But if you really have a Sherry, listen to me. My Sherry Sharman has nothing to do with her success. The reason why I say my Sherry Sharman is I have a lady that cared about me. And she said, I am willing to listen, Mazafar, and I will always support you no matter what you do. It has nothing to do with her success or any of that. It's her as a human being. So when I say you're Sherry Sharman, some of you go thinking about the most successful person you have, but does that person care about you and love you the way this lady does me? That's the person. Maybe your Sherry is your auntie. Maybe it's your grandmother. Maybe it's your big sister. Maybe it's your next door neighbor. Maybe it's your cousin. Maybe it's so I don't want you to go looking for the biggest network marketer you can find. But if you find someone that cares about you and loves you, then they will support you. And as long as they're open to supporting you and you get them to hear this information, then you have a chance of whether they become your business partner or not. But what if they introduce you to Arika and Rika and her husband, Bob, say yes, and they start building a business? What if she introduces you to a Kathy that's a single mom real estate agent that makes money when she sells a house and makes no money when she doesn't sell a house? In between escrow, she's out of a job. What if Sherry introduces you to a guy that takes care of his daughter that's in a wheelchair 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and he has to do everything for her? And he introduces 9 people in 24 hours. And one of those 9 is a guy named Stevie B that has introduced someone in Australia, that has introduced someone in the Philippines. What if your Sherry introduce? Do you understand where I'm going with this? There's so many people on here that are a direct correlation because of a phone call. Who is your phone call going to be today? And if you're willing to do one, what I would do is really simple. I'd call and say, hey, I need five. I'd text, I'd call. I need 5 to 10 minutes of your time. I have something important I have to talk to you about. And when they say yes, and you call them and you're excited and you say, listen, I just saw something that changed my life today. I need you to see it. Can I get 30 to 40 minutes of your time? It would mean the world to me. Can you practice that? It would mean the world to me. And they'll say, what is it? And you go, I don't have time right now. And it's not me that's going to explain this information. Because I care about you so much, I want you to get 100% of the information. Does Monday or Tuesday work better for you? And put them on a Zoom. For those of you that follow our rule, which is score in 24, call somebody today and have someone in your upline present for you today. Today. Don't wait till Monday. Present today. Present tomorrow. Let's get your first one in 24 immediately, ladies and gentlemen. Stop waiting. You know, I love my buddy Jeff because Jeff is always like, hey, listen, here's the deal. The minute somebody starts, Jeff is like, you're on the clock. And I remember when he said that, I was like, who's on the clock? He goes, you, Mazafar. When somebody starts, you're on the clock. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He goes, you have to help that person have success immediately. So listen, for those of y'all that are brand new, get together with the person that introduced you. Make a list together. Get your application done. Just get that one done. And by the way, make the decision to come to Atlanta. For me, I don't like working with people that don't get trained. I don't, because you got to work twice as hard. It's like you got to drag them to success. But when someone gets trained and they have the same language as you work faster because you can talk the same language. Now, last but not least, is make that list and start introducing people today. Do me a favor. Don't find a video presentation online and spam it out to people. I was on a conversation the other night, and this guy told me, yeah, I took one of the videos that one of your leaders did, and I sent it to 20 people. And I go, and it was Matt's video. And I told Matt that yesterday. Matt couldn't stop laughing. He goes, Muzaffar, I bet he didn't watch my getting started video because my getting started video says, don't take my video and send it out to 20 people. He goes, he didn't watch the getting started part. He just watched the presentation and not the getting started part. He said, my getting started part says, don't do that. He said, I don't do that. This is not about spamming out videos and hoping that people will bite. And so I'm just here to let you know that this is one of those moments in time that you have to make a decision. Get started. Come to Atlanta. Invite your first person today. And Sherry, I'd love for you to add some final touches. For me, I hope you have the best Saturday. I hope that you change someone's life today by introducing them to this opportunity. And I can't wait to hug your neck in Atlanta. Have a great day from me, everyone. Sherry, I'll turn it over to you, and God bless. You're muted, by the way.
All righty, I'm unmuted. Thank you so much for that training. I love that training. And for anyone that's been around for a while, being refreshed is so important. And when you were talking about, the other people's money, I actually went and got this credit card. The Chime. It's by Visa. It's legit. And the reason I got it was I wanted to see how fast you could get the cash. And within 3 minutes, they gave the cash and then they sent the credit. And you could use the card immediately. I was very impressed with that. So if having no money is not an excuse, because then what you do is you teach a person to immediately go get their six and become part of Club 6, walk across the stage, get acknowledged by everyone in the audience, and be hugged by the CEO and founder, Isaac, and Eddie Head, who is the president. They'll congratulate you. And you made $600, which pays for your credit card. Simple math. And I love that. This is your business. This is not just an investment kind of thing that you're doing. You are starting a business. And that's why I love this so much, because anyone from all walks of life can do this, and I just am so excited about what we're building. And I can't wait to see you in Atlanta and give you a big hug, because this company, it's going to be a household name. Zero doubt. But guess what? Do you want to be part of it or hearing about it? That's your choice. And that's all it is we are doing this call again on Monday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And if somebody goes, oh, that's too late, well, guess what? We're doing one at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. So just get them on the calls. We'll do the work. We'll show them the presentation. And just like Muzaffar said, are you ready to get started, or do you need to see it again? That is my new line. That is, you don't have to do any, people say, I don't like closing people. I don't like sales and all that. All you're doing is asking a question, a simple question. So that's what I would do with anybody that's on this call. Are you ready to get started, or do you need to see it again? For me, it didn't take twice, but I was at an event. That's what made the difference. So with that, we'll call it a great training. Thank you so much, Muzaffar. And for all of you, we appreciate your time. Take care. God bless, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye now.